Yeah. Let's see. This is what it's doing. It's not trading yet. The live status still shows simulation date. Da, da, da. What it's actually doing right now is the first profit agent run call. The agent is clearly making exploratory data requests, but it has not finished the decision. So that's cool. So this is actually running. It's just going slow, right? So it's looking through all these different symbols, right? It fetched QQQ and SPY. See, and again, literally all we did was tell this thing, make as much money as possible. That's it. And it's already going off. It's getting data for all these different symbols, right? And it looks like it's trying to make a decision as to like what it's going to actually buy here, right? There's also non-fatal data error for GLD. For some reason, I couldn't get that. What I do not see as more important. No order submit, no agent summary, no completed trade decision, no movement past the first simulated time step. So the answer is it is not completely dead, but is effectively stuck inside the first agent decision cycle. The 1% mark here means still in the first iteration, not successfully progressing. Most likely causes, the strategy is too unconstructed, so the agent is wandering through symbols and data requests and then hanging or taking too long before returning a final decision. The next fix I'd make is constrain the symbol universe to a smaller whitelist, switch to a faster model, right? Keep the tool set narrow so it can decide fast. Force a simple action per weekly in duration, right? Force one simple action. Okay. Either way, oh, there you go. Look at that. It's making some money, guys. That's pretty cool. So it's slow, but so far making progress. So it's up 5.4% so far.
And
So why don't we let that run? Right. Sorry, did you guys have a question there?
oh yeah, I was saying, and it started off with 100,000.
Yeah, start off with 100,000.
Okay.
So right now it's up 1.6%.
Okay, so it's right now the back test is on April the 2nd, right?
Yes, correct. It
Okay.
is on April 2nd. Yeah, so it started March 23rd. Now it's on April 26th or April 6th. So now it's actually progressing a lot faster. That first cycle was a lot slower, but now it seems to actually be making some progress. Yeah, these Pro model, the Gemini 3.1 Pro model is definitely it's definitely slow. It takes some time, right? So you could use different models, right? You could use Grok, you could use OpenAI's models, you could use the slower models from Gemini. There's a whole list of different ones they can use. And I specifically said to use 3.1 Pro because that is the smartest model that Gemini has, right? So presumably using the smartest model, you would think that it would have the best results, right? That's not always going to be the case, but I'd say that's a good bet, right? That the smarter the model, the more money it's going to make, generally speaking, right? That's pretty cool. Any other questions around this or thoughts? Yeah, so clearly we see here, you see how much better Codex is at this stuff, right? Codex is able to figure this out pretty damn quickly. So I think that's a learning lesson here that I think we should start using something more like a Codex because I think that would help out a lot. Okay, so up 6.5%. Let's see. ETA, it's saying about 4 minutes. So why don't we let this thing finish up? We can come back to this. Um, So, like I said, we could do news-based trading. In this case, all I would have to do is I would tell it, add a news source, add a news server, right? And if I told Codex that, it would add it to the strategy, and that would actually be able to pull news data as well and trade off the news, right? Where before we had a very different way of doing this, this now has the ability to not only trade off the news, but do a lot of other very sophisticated things, right? It's basically just picking its own symbols. Like I'm actually I would be very curious to know what the heck it actually did, right? Like what did it buy, what did it sell, and why, right? And what's also interesting is that this is unlikely to have a lot of bias in it because the Gemini 3.1 models, their training data, I think, ends sometime like mid last year. So this probably doesn't have a lot of bias in it, right? Which is actually pretty interesting. It's already up 11% in a month. Like that's like really damn impressive. You know what I mean? Like for all we did was say make as much money as possible. That's it. Up 12%. Like that's crazy, you know? Like the past month has also not been very good for trading, right? Like the past week has been good, but the month prior to that was just like, Iran war, stock market kept going down, and it still somehow was able to make a bunch of money. How? I don't know. We'll find out. Let's see here. Up 14%, not even a month. And we didn't have to come up with any kind of strategy. Yeah, this is why I want to show you guys this because like we're just getting some crazy results. Like every time I keep back testing this, it's like really, really impressive. Um, as you can tell, it's still a work in progress, still not perfect, still rough around the edges, but damn, for a 14% return, just telling it make as much money as possible, that's literally all it does. That's pretty damn impressive, right?
Yeah, is this the one we started last night?
Something like this, yeah,
Yeah.
very
Is
similar.
this still trade? I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't see what is it? Just do we know what it's trading? Is it
Yeah,
doing the
we'll
two?
find out now.
Oh, okay.
Now that it's done, we could actually ask.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Well, you should start
so
it, make it go for a year.
that's going to take a long time for it to
Oh,
do that.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
this was
mean,
only a
yeah, take
month,
it.
and it took 15 minutes to do a month. Like if we did a year, we
Oh,
can go back later. But I already got Gemini to do over a year, and I posted the results into our BotSpot channel. So here it is, something similar. Okay, very similar type of strategy. Basically Gemini 3.1. I think it actually doesn't have it written here, but I think this one used Gemini 3 Pro or Gemini 3.1 Pro, one of those. And again, always said make as much money as possible. Backtest came back 245% per year. That is not, I mean, I guess the full return is also that because it did run over a year, but over the past year, 245%. And then this is one running longer. This is over 4 years, and it included the bear market in 2022. Look at that. The bear market looked like it was nothing for it. Almost 70% per year return. Like that's pretty damn impressive. You know what I mean? And this one, if when I looked at it, it decided to trade leveraged ETFs. That's what it decided to actually do. So I'm wondering this time around what it decided to do. Okay, so the back test is finished. What did this thing trade? What did it actually decide to do? What were all the trades that happened and how did it make money? Because it's pretty impressive what it was able to do. Can you tell me like why it made certain decisions and what it traded and why? Like I think you need to look through the logs and all that to figure that out. So let's see how it got that return. But 13% in a single month, theoretically, that's an annual return of 340%. What the hell? You know what I mean? It's crazy.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, it's it's over a short time period, right? So longer time periods can be better, obviously, but we still ran it over longer time periods and still got very good results. Um, and then you might say, okay, it's a back test and back tests are biased, and you would be right in saying that because these models kind of know what happened in the past because they're trained off of it. So you have to run it forward, right? And that's going to be the next thing is I'm going to actually start running all these things in paper trading and let's see how they do. And we'll compete Gemini 3.1 Pro versus Gemini 3.1 Flashlight versus Grok versus OpenAI's models, and I want to just have like a competition, like which AI model does the best. Like that's actually what I want to get up and running. I think that'd be pretty damn cool to watch. I'm curious what it actually did. Let's see here. Yeah, so I really think the next step here is I'm going to start running these things live. I think I'm going to run like 6 to 8 different versions of it using just different AIs, right? One of them will use Gemini, another one will use OpenAI, another one will use Grok. I've been thinking about also even getting these open source models, right? We could use, I've heard DeepSeek is very good at trading because DeepSeek, the guys that made it, I don't know if you guys know this, but they're from China. They used to be a hedge fund, and then they pivoted to making AIs. So their AI is actually very good at trading, right? So DeepSeek is good and it's very cheap and fast, right? And then Kimi 2.6 just came out, and I wonder how that's going to do. So I want to test all these different AIs and see which ones do better and which ones do worse. Right? I think that'll be very interesting to see.
Oh, do we have access to that DeepSeek? Just as a you know.
So right now, the way that this is set up, um, right now you can only use the Gemini models. But as soon as I get this new deployment out, which I'm hoping to do by tonight, then you'll be able to use pretty much anything as long as you have an API key,
Hmm.
right? So if you want to do that, you could. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what it did. So check the run. Okay, it finished 13% total return, max drawdown only 5%, right? What it actually traded was very simple. On March 23, it bought that many shares of XLE. Very good decision. On April 7th, it bought that many shares of XLE, also a very good decision. On this date, it immediately bought that many shares of QQQ, and then it held QQQ through the end of the back test. Ending cash was this much. So, I mean, that's like a perfect trade, right? XLE is an oil ETF, I think. Pretty sure it is. Let's double
It's
check.
actually energy. It's oil is part of it, but it's
Oh, it's like natural
energy
gas and
supply.
all other things
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, like you couldn't time that better,
Yeah,
right? I don't know
exactly.
how the hell it knew to trade that. Like, that's incredible timing.
For real.
Um, which is why sometimes you think these back tests, or the back tests, like you got to forward test these things, right? Because like the models, you don't know what these things are doing, right? The first decision was a relative strength sector rotation call. The log showed it compared those 4 sector ETFs. Its summary was that the broad market and bonds were in drawdown, but XLE had strong absolute and relative momentum. Interesting. So it traded XLE based on momentum, right? About 7.5% over 20 days while the market was weak. That's why I went all in on XLE. So it said the market was weak, XLE was seeing some momentum, so it jumped into that. And the second decision was another momentum rotation. By April 7th, the logs show that the thesis had flipped. XLE was down about 4.6% over the last 5 days, while SPY was up about 3.9 and QQQ was up 4.6. The agent explicitly said the energy thesis had inverted and rotated out of XLE into QQQ. After that, it kept rechecking QQQ, SPY, and XLE with market low. Every later summary said the same thing. QQQ had the strongest 5-day, 10-day, and 20-day momentum, so it kept holding it and did nothing else. Wow. Like it just did this based on momentum. Cool. All right.
Where do
So
you
if
get that printout where it says development?
what do you mean where it says development?
This what you're reading. Where'd you get this report?
I just asked it. I just asked, what did it do?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it like went in and read the logs and like figured this out. Right. But yeah. That's pretty damn impressive, right? And it doesn't have access to news. It doesn't have access to federal, you know, whatever indicators and stuff, right? It doesn't have access to like all these other things. Like we could give it now more access. I could also say now, okay, give it a news tool, give it uh, a tool that could get stuff from Fred, right? All the economic indicators. I could say, give it a tool that could get fundamental analysis on stocks, right? I could give it all those tools, and the more tools I'll give it, the more things it can do, and it could like figure out. So this case we didn't give it that many tools, so that's probably why it's mostly going off of momentum, right? But if we had given it a news tool, it probably would have read, "Hey, there's a war going on. Oil prices are going to go up," and that would probably reaffirm its decision to do this, right? But either way, you see how this is like a new paradigm, right? There's a new type of trading where you are not telling it what to do; it's figuring it out on its own every single day, right? Or whatever cadence you set it to, right?
Hey, Rob, I got a question. When you ran it last night, how far back did you go to back test it?
So, so this is what I showed you. So this is back 4 years.
Like 4 years. I wonder how it did on a Liberation Day.
We can check. That was what, right around here?
Around that's 2025,
No, 25 is Liberation
around
Day.
It
April,
was
around April
April
1st.
1st. Yeah, April 2nd of 25.
So April would
Oh,
have been
there's a
zero.
big spike. Is that it? You see the spike there?
Maybe. Maybe
Huh.
that's
Yeah.
Liberation Day. Maybe it was
So I
on the right side
wonder,
of the trade. Who knows, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
wonder what did it know, but then it just shot right back down too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Something.
Who knows? I mean, like you can give this thing ability to do a bunch of stuff, right? Like I actually I saw some people that there's like videos about this stuff online. And you can give it the ability to trade like anything. You can get it to like trade futures or options or stock. It doesn't have to be just ETFs. It could be like individual stocks. It could be leveraged Like this was trading leveraged ETFs, right? So it's going up and down, trading both the long and the short with leveraged ETFs, right? And then, again, you can get it to trade options. You can get it to trade futures. You can get it to trade like any asset class, right? So it's like you could really give this thing a lot of liberty to do whatever the hell it wants to do, right? And you know, or you could be very custom about it, or you could tell it, specifically, I want you to trade based on economic indicators, and that's how I want you to trade. Or I want you to trade like Warren Buffett. Pretend you're Warren Buffett. You need to find, value stocks, do that, right? And it'll go off and do that.
Yeah, it seems that it does very well when there's some volatility um in the market,
Potentially.
but then it just shoots right back down. I mean, it spikes, but then it loses,
Yeah.
but then it eventually goes back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd really like to know what that spike was, what particular instrument it had. What
Yeah, I
is
mean, we could dig into that. I
yeah.
ran out of Claude tokens, so
Oh, okay.
I'd have to use something else to do that. But
Yeah. And I'm
uh,
also wondering is if the drawdown is from the peak there. Yeah, it must be, right? The max drawdown, which it said was 53%.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, you can
which
see
which is
it.
not nearly as bad, when you actually uh look at it, it was from that spike, right? So
Here's
it's
underwater plot.
oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
know around the time the VIX was high.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think once it gets to a certain level, you want to get out.